Hello, this is Empress Tarot. I also go by the name Gabby Turner Tarot. And welcome to this Pick a Card Spirit Guide reading. I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to try to be doing more of these. You can always skip this intro if you want. Just look at the timestamps in the description below the video, and those timestamps will lead you to your Pick a Card reading. Give me just a moment and I will show you your pick a card options so that you can do that. So your options here are the Nine of Swords, which would be the first card there. That would be reading number 1. Reading number 2 would be the Queen of Cups. And number 3 would be the Ace of Swords. And just if you're curious, if you like these images, this is from a deck called Tarot of the Cat People, which is one of my favorite decks. So take a moment here. Choose the card that most resonates with you. Think about whatever situation you're most wanting a message about, and what card seems to resonate most with what that question or situation is that you're holding in your mind at the moment. When you make your choice, you can choose from the timestamps in the description below the video to go directly to your own spirit guide reading. Hello, again, this is Empress Tarot, otherwise known as Gabby Turner Tarot. And if you chose the first card, which was the Nine of Swords, then the spirit guide who wants to come through to you is Laka. She is the Hawaiian goddess of the hula dance. And so she's dancing her way into your life today to try to bring a little bit more brightness and spontaneity into your life. She knows that you have something that is really causing you a lot of mental anxiety right now, which is why you chose the Nine of Swords. You're just overburdened with thoughts and fears about a particular issue. The Eight of Cups here, I've chosen 3 tarot cards. I've done this with all of the spirit guide readings for this particular pick a card reading because it helps me to channel the message that these guides have for you. But she's saying there's a situation that you've been in for a long time, and probably for a long time you've known that this situation that you're in is not good for you. It's not healthy, but you just feel sort of apathetic about it. You're just so used to things being the way that they have been that you're just really comfortable with it, even though you know that what you're really supposed to be doing right now is making a big change. The change feels overwhelming to you because at least what you have now, you know what it is. So you don't have to be afraid of it because you know what it is. You know it's not great, but it's known. And for you, the known is so much easier than the unknown. The Seven of Swords is saying, you know that you need to move towards something new and better, but you feel really, 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 really scared of doing that because you don't know what the future holds. You know that your heart is not being truly filled by your current situation, but you also know that if you move towards what you really want, then you have a much bigger potential of being hurt. You're not going to be hurt as badly by being in a situation that isn't what your heart's true desire is, because you can't, if you lose something that wasn't that great to begin with, say you're in a job that you don't really love, you're just moving throughout the day. So yeah, that's not great, but you're used to it. Maybe you want to take a new career path, but you don't know. You could be rejected. Maybe they wouldn't want to hire you. Maybe there's something you want to sell and you don't know that people are really going to want to buy it or be interested. Maybe you're in a relationship and you know that this relationship is very static and unhealthy, and that you're going nowhere in this current relationship that you're in. But you also know that moving forward towards what you really want, the real kind of relationship you want, the person that you know you really want to be with, that's so scary because there's so many things that are unknown that could potentially hurt you. Again, you could be rejected. What if you got into a relationship with this person and then the relationship ended? There are just too many things that are not known, and that feeling of not knowing everything about the outcome is keeping you from making any step towards this better life that you are being asked to take. She wants you to, feel a little bit more lighthearted about it if you can, and understand that this is a transition towards something better. This something better is going to happen regardless. And the more you can just play with it and allow it and accept it for what it is, the more you'll enjoy the process of this transition. Because my feeling is, what she's saying is, it's going to happen either way. It's going to happen. So you might as well enjoy the process. And believe in yourself and believe that you're worthy of something better than what you've been just existing in. She's also saying that you create your own destiny. So if you're always in your mind thinking about all of the negative possibilities, then you may very well manifest those negative possibilities. So is that what you want to do? She's asking you, create your own dance. You are the choreographer of your life, and part of that choreography is about just getting into the flow of life instead of worrying so much about the future and all of those negative future potentials. She's asking you, just get into the flow of life and let yourself, create the beautiful life that you know you want, simply by existing in this moment of transition and allowing this moment of transition to take place. So again, her message is, she understands you've been stuck in something for a while. She wants you to move forward despite your fears of the unknown, because you're very strong and capable. And even if any of those fears came true, you would be able to handle it. You've got this. You've got this. Nobody can hurt you. You always have the dance of life. I think there is a message here as well that you can draw in this lighter sense of being, this more being in the flow of life and in the flow of this transition, if you do actually get up and dance. I mean, this is a very literal message from her as well. She wants you to dance. You may even want to specifically take a hula class or do hula dance if it's something that you already know how to do. Maybe you want to watch videos of hula dancers, or go to a hula performance. It doesn't have to be so literal either. It can just be about dance, the beauty of dance, the creative. How can dance be a creative act? Well, it can help you to create this beautiful life you want, because it allows you to feel free. It allows you to feel free in this moment, and it allows you to feel that this is a beautiful moment. If there's a sad song on the radio, do you still want to dance? If there's a happy song on the radio, can you dance to that? What kind of song do you want to dance to? You get to choose the music of your life as well. Choose what you want to dance to. Allow yourself to be in the rhythm and the flow of it, and you'll notice big changes in your life. But I do think she does physically want you to actually dance. And if dance is not something you're comfortable with, then first of all, recognize that that's true of most people. You don't have to do it in front of people. You can do dance in the privacy of your own bedroom, or where you can find a private space to put on some music and dance. But she really does want you to do that. Some people might find that message a little bit hard. I would ask you to embrace that and just see where it leads you emotionally and otherwise. And yeah. And if not, if you're really resisting that, then that's fine. She is telling you you're resisting a lot of things in life right now, a lot of changes in life right now, and she would like to help you move through those. She's there for you in this process. She wants you, she knows that you're going to be successful. So she knows that for you, even though you have fear of it yourself, she's willing to hold that sense of knowing for you. So that's nice. And she's hoping that you will find strength in this message that she's bringing to you today. Accept as much of it as you can. She hopes that you accept the full message, including the part about actually getting up and dancing. She wants to see you dancing. She does. Because she knows that it's going to make you feel better about life, and more worthy of the good things that are coming into your life right now. So for those of you who chose card number 1, Spirit Guide Laka is very grateful for you listening to her message. And I myself, Empress Tarot, aka Gabby Turner Tarot, I also feel very blessed that you've come to listen to this reading. Please let me know if this has been a meaningful message for you. Let me know if you've got something positive out of this. And I will be doing more of these in the future. So if you like these Spirit Guide Pick a Card readings, then make sure to subscribe so you can get the ones that I post from now on. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening to this message. So if you chose the second card, which was the Queen of Cups, your spirit guide wanting to come through is actually a unicorn, and her name is Tinsley. And she can look however she wants to look. I've just found an image of a unicorn that I think is very beautiful and sort of captures her essence. And you might think this is strange. Until recently, I did not believe that unicorns were real either. They are actually mentioned 9 times in the Bible as well. I'm not religious per se, but I do think that that's interesting. People try to act like it's some sort of translation mistake, but I don't think it is. I think there's a lot more to the world than what we can accurately perceive. Because we're walking around with very limited perception. If you believe in ghosts, then you already believe that there's a lot of spiritual energy that we can't perceive. If you believe in God, I mean, we can't perceive God with our eyes, but we can experience the presence of God. So there are just a lot of things that do exist in the world that we just can't accurately perceive. But even if you don't believe in unicorns per se as spiritual energies, then you might just want to receive this message in a slightly different way. You could just take this as, just take this as a psychic reading. Just take the message however you can receive it, because there is a message here. The card that you chose was the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Cups is very loving and nurturing. She has a mothering quality. You might be concerned about issues related to mothering. Perhaps you are a mother or want to be a mother, or perhaps you um, have um, some issues regarding your own mother. Or it could also be about expressing your emotions. Maybe you're having difficulty expressing your emotions. There's a lot of memories that are coming um, through from you, and you may be dealing with how to process those memories, something along those lines. But what she wants to tell you about that is, um, first of all, she understands that your emotions run very deep, and she wants you to be able and willing to accept that about yourself. You know, part of this channeling process is that I've chosen these 3 cards. I've chosen them previous to me recording this, but now that I'm recording it, I am picking up on the energies of the cards and the message that's coming through from your unicorn spirit guide via these tarot cards that we've got pictured here. The Prince of Cups, the Devil, and the Nine of Cups. So she's saying, you know, you feel a little burdened by your emotional memories. You know, you're not sure what to do with these memories, because sometimes the memories make you feel bad about yourself. You have memories that make you feel bad or unworthy. She's saying that you feel somewhat unworthy of love because of these memories you've had, these experiences from your past. It might have to do with mothering in some way. Maybe your experiences with your mother made you feel unworthy. You do have a lot of deep-seated emotions regarding your mother that is coming through. So if you're getting this message, I really do feel like this is concerning your own mother. And, you know, she's just telling you to be okay with whatever thoughts and feelings are coming up, that you're not a bad person for having any particular thoughts or feelings about your mother. You might have some anger towards your mother. She's saying that you may actually be angry at your mother. You feel like something that she has done, something about the way that she has raised you, has made it almost impossible for you to ever truly be able to feel real, true love with someone, especially in your romantic life. Somehow you feel like your relationship with her has blocked you from being able to experience a healthy, flowing, loving relationship as an adult, a healthy romantic relationship as an adult. So, you know, that's something that this is kind of deep stuff, you know, so it's nice that it's a unicorn, which is this very light spirited energy. It's nice that it's this light-hearted spiritual presence who wants to help you work through this, because it is pretty heavy stuff. Um, you know, she's saying that the answer doesn't necessarily have to be forgiveness, but she does want you to at least consider what that might look like. You know, is there a way that you can free yourself from this by working with the idea of forgiveness? You know, she wants you to at least consider that. You don't have to do that. But she is saying that that would probably be a really good doorway to get beyond this, so that you can get to the place where you can feel like you can give love to someone in an appropriate way, and that they will receive it in an appropriate way, and that your boundaries will be respected. So, so yeah, I'm trying to feel if there's anything else she's wanting to say. She wants to remind you of your sweetness and your own lightness of being. She doesn't want you to forget all of that just because you might be working through these emotions of these darker things that you've experienced. She does not want you to forget who you truly are, because you are not defined by the experiences you've had. And she just also wants you to recognize your own mother's weaknesses. And you know, she made choices that were wrong, and as the adult she should have made better choices, but she was also coming from a place of woundedness herself. Recognizing that does not excuse anything that she did wrong, but it does, allow you to sort of heal from it better when you understand where it comes from. Because I think you're also capable of seeing how, if you don't heal this yourself, you could repeat the cycle. And I know that that is not what you want to do. So this unicorn energy is really charging, wanting you to charge forward, as unicorns can do. When a unicorn charges, they're very intent, you know, on cutting out the bullshit. She wants to help you cut through all of this bullshit so that you can get to where you need to be, which is the Nine of Cups energy, which is so wonderful and freeing. It's so nice to get to that place where you feel like, your emotional needs are being met in a way that is truly loving, where there aren't any strings attached, where there's not guilt or blame and that kind of stuff. Okay, so the message from Tinsley the Unicorn was a little bit heavier than I expected it to be, but I hope for those of you who chose the second card, I hope that you have found this message helpful in some way. Please let me know in the comments. This is the second spirit guide pick a card that I've done. I'm planning to do more because it seems like so far they're well received. And it would just be interesting to see how many other, spirit guides want to come forward and speak to us. So thank you again, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Okay, so if you chose the third card, which was the Ace of Swords, the spirit guide coming forward for you today is Helen of Troy. And Helen of Troy is a character in Greek mythology. So again, some people may think, well, how could someone from Greek mythology or any type of mythology be a guide to me? And I don't know, but when my, guides first started coming forward to me, which has just started happening recently, my primary guide is a god from Egyptian mythology. And, it's never what I would have chosen. But it's just, that's just what happened for me. I'm not saying that Helen of Troy is your primary guide per se. We have many, many guides. We have innumerable guides. And honestly, we can be guided by someone else who's still living. A friend or a family member can be our guide. In fact, they are our guides, all the time, in the earthly sphere. But mythology, I don't know if I could say that I truly know what mythology is. But, mythological characters and stories, they're an act of creation. They spring from our consciousness in order to help us to understand some facet or aspect of life. And, I think it's interesting that many disparate cultures in different places around the world, will often have similar mythological stories. Maybe they have different names for the same mythology, but there will be the same kind of story or interaction that appears in different places. So we can see how mythology really does connect us to our collective soul, the soul that we collectively share, and how it does spring from, our collective unconscious in order to teach us and show us something. So with that said, Helen of Troy is coming forward to you today. So just a little bit of background on who she was. In mythology, she is known as the face that launched 1,000 ships. She was thought to be so beautiful and adored. It was more than just that she was beautiful. She was someone whose very essence just captured the attention of people. It wasn't just physical beauty, it was much more. It was like she was shining this beautiful starlight into the world in a way that just captured the attention of so many suitors. She was married to King Menelaus, and she had many suitors try to win her favor. He eventually won. He won the battle to be her husband, so he became her husband. But even after that, and everyone who had competed in that battle to get to be her husband had pledged that whoever won would continue to receive the support and the protection from all of the other men who had lost. I don't know if that makes sense. So basically, Menelaus won her as his wife, but all of the other men who wanted to compete to be her husband had already pledged that whoever was the winner, in this case Menelaus, they pledged that once they had lost that battle to him, that they would always continue to help him in his marriage with her by continuing to protect that marriage. So it's kind of like a bro code. Like, okay, she chose you. She wants to be your wife, not mine. That's cool. But if any other guy tries to get her from you, I've got your back. So that's kind of the backstory of Helen of Troy. She was at some point either, and there are different accounts of that, and this is part of the message too. The fact that it's ambiguous is important, I think. In some accounts, she chose to leave her marriage and her child in order to be with Paris, this beautiful guy, basically a player, basically a player. He could have any beautiful woman that he wanted. It was very on a superficial level for him. Whereas Menelaus, I feel like, really wanted to be her support system and be her husband. Paris was more about, she's really pretty, everybody wants her, so I'm going to be the one who has her. So that was his reasoning. And so in some accounts, she willingly left her husband to be with him. In other accounts, she was stolen away from him by Paris, so sort of kidnapped. But then what ensued was the Trojan War, and you're probably familiar with that story. The Trojan War, they came in with this wooden horse, were able to, deceptively get through the gates, and then all of these soldiers, unexpectedly emerged in order to win this battle and win Helen back. So, okay, so I've chosen 3 tarot cards here to help me channel what it is Helen of Troy wants us to say. Just from her backstory, usually the backstory of the guide is going to tell me a little bit about what the message is, and then the card that you chose was the Ace of Swords, which is about making the best choice and having clarity. So Helen had so many suitors to choose from, and that must have been very confusing and overwhelming for her to try to determine who's the right one, who's the one for me. And it seems like Menelaus is the one that she chose, and that was great, and everything seemed wonderful. But then this guy Paris came along, and either she chose to be with him, or he stole her away. So if you You might be watching this as someone who feels like someone might be stolen away from you. Or you might be the one who is afraid that someone is trying to steal you away, and you don't want to be stolen away, or you're confused by the fact that someone's wanting to do that because you've already made your choice. I'm feeling like it's more like you have made your choice, you know who you want to be with, but you're feeling like someone else is trying to interfere. This is about interference as it relates to marriage. So if you've already chosen who your marriage partner is, but you feel like other people are interfering, then this message, I feel like that is what this message about. That's what I'm getting right now. So you've chosen the Ace of Swords. You feel like you've made your decision. She's saying to you that, making the choice seemed like it was the hard part, but there's more to it after that. She just wants to tell you that you're in for the long haul. If you've chosen who you want to be married with, you're in it for the long haul, which means you're going to have to deal with things like this. You're going to have to deal with other people trying to pull you out of your marriage. Unfortunately, people do that for whatever reason. We're all human. We've all done that. Well, I can't say that we've all done that, but I mean, have you ever been attracted to someone who was in a relationship, um, or been in a relationship and someone is attracted to you and you didn't really know how to handle that because you didn't want that, but maybe it was flattering at the same time. So it brings up a lot of confusing emotions for you. So the first thing is, if you have made your choice, and my feeling is that you have, she wants to reassure you that this person who you have chosen is wanting to work through this issue with you. It's hard for them. The fact that there are other people who want your attention, that is hard for them, but they are willing to work through it. They do want to, continue. If you're not with the person yet or not married yet, but you are with them, or whatever your situation is, they want to take it further with you despite these problems around, just questions of infidelity, fears about infidelity, fears about other people winning you over. They still want to proceed, even though there are those fears there. And they still want to proceed, but yeah, I mean, it is scary for them because they want to have a feeling of emotional security with you. So they still are willing to pursue having the life with you that they want to have. They want to stick with you. They definitely don't want to leave your side. But Helen of Troy she's coming through because perhaps you've been thinking about this in different terms. Maybe you've been thinking about it more in terms of your own emotions, and your own fears. Helen is just asking you to be mindful of how difficult this is for your chosen partner, whether you're with that person yet or not. Whoever your chosen life partner is, that person is having a difficult time right now. And Helen just wants you to be able to see that, because she's been through this experience before herself, and she can see it maybe from a higher perspective than you can. And she just wants you to know how hard it is for this person who loves you and adores you and wants to give you everything. And it's so hard for this person because they want to keep fighting for you and defending the choice that both of you have made to be together. But it's so hard because they're so afraid that in the end, when they win you, they're just so afraid that they're never going to feel that they have the emotional security that they want to have. So she's just wanting you to think about that. You know, how do the two of you create this emotional security despite the fact that you are a very attractive person and that you do get other people's attention just by being your beautiful, wonderful self? I mean, how are the two of you going to overcome that in a way that allows you both to feel emotionally secure and safe in this relationship? And so she's just saying part of that process is just being able to see it from the other person's perspective. Just that mental shift alone allows you to get closer to that emotional foundation, emotional security, sense of not having to worry so much about this. Just shifting your perspective, seeing it from the point of view of your chosen love partner will help you get closer to where you want to be with this person. Um, and it will allow both of you to feel more emotionally safe and centered in the relationship. So I feel like that was a really beautiful message. Unexpected, sort of, I feel like, but I got something out of it personally. I hope that those of you listening also have gotten something out of it. If you enjoyed this spirit guide reading, please let me know in the comments and subscribe. I will be doing more of these, you know, and however you want to think of this. Maybe you don't want to think of it as a spirit guide message. Maybe it's just for you just to pick a card reading. It doesn't matter how you conceive of it. If you're getting a message out of it that's helpful, then that's the most important thing. So have a wonderful, blessed day, and thank you for listening.